Welcome everyone to my podcast. This is Hashim Garrett. Thank you all for tuning in. Today is the first of hopefully many podcasts. Today is January 30th, 2022. Wow. I want to introduce myself to everyone, right? I am a dad. I am a motivational speaker. Wear so many hats. I don't even know where to start, but I always start off with dad because that's an important role. It's 24/7. I really wanted to introduce myself to the world through this podcast and share some stories with you, give some advice, and hopefully it's just, we can just have a good time, right? We need more of that in the world, and we hopefully give you some peace and some tranquility. Yeah, that's what we need. We need more tranquility in this world, I may give a joke here and there. I don't think I'm that funny. Some people say, hey, you look like Kevin Hart. I don't know, because I'm short and black, right? So, yeah. So I'll probably stick to just keeping it real with you, right? Just having a good time. I won't do too many jokes. But, so let me tell you about myself, right? Hopefully I'll try to edit out all of the right? Get rid of those. So here's a quick synopsis of who I am. I am a motivational speaker. You can follow me on social media at Hashim_Garrett. That's at Instagram, Hashim Garrett on Facebook. My website is www.hashimgarrett, so it's kind of Hashim Garrett everywhere, right? You can Google me and all that stuff, but got some videos up there on YouTube, not that many. So, but if you're tuning into this podcast, I really hope that we're not just talking, but we're interacting. I hope you guys send me an email, HashimGarrett@gmail. So everything is Hashim Garrett. But so a little bit about myself, right? I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, and mom, dad separated when I was early. I have an older sister. She's the best big sister in the whole wide world, and I love her. I'm an uncle. I have a phenomenal niece, and she's doing wonderful things. Continue to keep up the good work out there, youngin'. And so, but when I was 15, I was shot multiple times and paralyzed. So for the last 20 plus years, I've been traveling the world, doing a lot of lectures, talking to young people about my story, really making sure that what happened to me won't happen to them. And the information that I share with them is stuff that they can't learn in their regular, math and science and language arts and history. They don't learn this information. So I come into schools and I talk with them. I get paid to do this, right? I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a consultant. And so what I do is have assembly presentations, and I also have, small kind of classroom, intimate workshops with the kids. And it's for grades 4 through 12, work with college students, work with adults. And so this has just been my passion. And as a consultant working with school districts, I've met a lot of phenomenal people. And I'm going to share some of my stories with you of people that I've met. So I was a guardian angel. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that organization, Curtis Leewald, the Red Berets. Yep, I was a guardian angel after getting shot. So I wasn't on patrol, and they did some phenomenal things, great things, really, And so I'll share some of those stories. I'll tell you about some of the doctors I hung out with, and we traveled and did presentations. I'll tell you about the time I went to Africa. That was a trip. I mean, a trip, right? And I'll share with you about the times I went to Jamaica, and I'll share with you some of my stories about going to Europe twice. And so I just hope that you guys will tune in, really make sure that you invite some young people, because this stuff I share with you is for adults and for young people, right? So for all my adults out there, I know exactly what you're going through. As I mentioned, I am a dad of 2 children. My daughter's going to be a teenager in just a few weeks. And at the same time, I've been divorced. I'm separated, and divorce is imminent again. So, I'm a real American. I've been married and divorced, and I'm on my second divorce. So, they don't get more American than me, So I'm right here, and I'm all about the people, man. All about humanity. I'm black, bleed red, I've got Latino friends. Shout out to my people out there in Long Island. I'll share some stories about that. Just look, I got stories. So if you like to hear some stories, you want to hear some advice, I got it for you. Now, I may even give you some tips on how to make money. I also tell you tips on how I lost a lot of money. So that's always a good thing. Yeah. I ain't gonna just sit here and tell you how to make it rich. I could tell you how not to lose it. Everybody tell you how to make money, but they don't tell you what not to do or what you shouldn't do to lose the money. Because I know how to, as they say in the hood, I know how to mess up a bag. You heard me? I done blew a lot of money, man. So I ain't saying it proudly, but I could teach you how to make some money. I could also teach you what to do not to lose the money. And I told you I've been divorced twice. So I'm losing some money over here. But I've been blessed because I make it back, though. I've been blessed to get it back, So I just want to give you guys some really, really great advice. And as I told you, I have a daughter who's going to be a teenager. So today, here's my piece of advice that I'm going to give to all of the girls. I'm going to give some advice to all of the girls, all of the women, right? But we'll start out with the young ladies. Here's some advice. And you know what? I'm going to even share a story. So that's what we'll do in this podcast. We'll give advice and we'll share a story. I won't keep you too long. And hopefully you're listening to this as you're driving or you're in a park or you're home, wherever you're at the gym. I don't know, right? But I want you to really take this one in. So my job allows me to go and do a lot of talking to kids, right? Young people, teenagers. And one of the things that I typically am sharing with students is it's about decision making, right? It's really at the core. It's really like, just think, man. Think. Use your head. And so here's some advice that I give to young ladies and to my own daughter is guard your reputation. Guard your reputation, So I think I'm going to give you three pieces of advice that it's so important to remember. So number one is guard your reputation. Let nobody speak bad about you did this with this boy or you did this with this girl, and they can spread rumors about you and talk about the kind of stuff they did with you, and they can take pictures and they can put it on social media, and and I don't care who it is. If you ever hear a boy or girl, right? If you ever hear your significant other say, "Oh, I promise I won't tell," always remember this. They say a promise is a comfort to a fool, and you are no fool. So you hear somebody say, "I promise," you automatically, there should be a red flag. And so guard your reputation. Don't just give what is important and special. Don't just give it away, if you understand what I mean. The second thing that I want to make sure that you really hear and understand is there is a double standard when it comes to being promiscuous, sexually active, intimate. There is a double standard, right? A boy, he can have sex with multiple girls, and the boys want to be like him and the girls want to get with him, right? The girl, on the other hand, she can be promiscuous and be involved with other boys, and if she does, she's thought of as a thought and a whore and a slut and all of this, ratchet, or whatever name you want to think of. But immediately she loses, right? And so there is a double standard, young ladies. What the boys do, we can't do. You young ladies can't do. I say we, I'm not a girl, but you understand, right? And something that is so important is that I realize that, so many of our children, boys and girls, they all want to be popular. I want it to be popular, right? You want to be a part of the cool crowd. You want to be a part of the it crowd and all of that kind of stuff. But the reality is everybody's popular for something. But make sure that you are popular for the right reasons. Can you think about it? Like there are kids who go to school and they're smart. And they're known for being smart, honor roll, high honor roll. But sometimes that's not enough. They want to be a part of that, the kids that are on social media, the kids that are doing other things. Stay in your lane. It's okay to be popular for what you do. So you're popular for your academia and your intellect. That's excellent. Some kids are popular for athletics. Some kids are popular because of bands. Some kids are popular for different reasons. And it's okay to be popular in your own lane. But sometimes what we find is you may have the young girl and again, these stories and this advice today is just for the girls. But of course, if the shoe fits, you wear it, right? It applies to boys and girls. But this is just for my girls today, my young ladies, is that make sure that you understand when it comes to your reputation, what somebody posts on social media, it doesn't go away. Right? Even if it's deleted, it stays in the cloud. Understand that it's okay to be popular. And so some girls, they are popular for academia, right? They're popular for cheerleading. They're popular for whatever they're popular for. And then all of a sudden now they say, oh, well, this boy, the boy, he's known and everybody likes him. And I don't know, maybe he's played sports or maybe he could rap, whatever it is, maybe he's in a gang. I don't know, whatever it is that's attracting you to him. But realize now you stepping outside of your lane. And now you get with this boy and you do some things. And of course, I promise I ain't going to say nothing. And lo and behold, now your reputation is tarnished and you feel like you want to move. And sometimes even worse, there are young girls who self-mutilate and self-harm and want to commit suicide. I don't want any of you to ever forget when it comes to suicide, it is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Right? And so even though what we do, it does stay in social media, believe me, whatever is the new news for today in whatever it feels like, oh, everybody knows, in time that story will fade away. And so again, I just want to make sure, encourage you, stay in your lane. Yes, there is a double standard. Know that. Make sure that you realize it is okay to be popular for being intelligent. It is okay for you to be popular because you play sports, and you can stay in that lane. You don't have to, if you want to be popular for being smart and you want to play sports, perfect. But stay in your lane. Don't step out the lane where you're going to do something that's going to have, do some real damage. And while I'm on that topic of staying in our lane and talking about, the whole aspect of being promiscuous, understand that if you are hanging out with certain girls and they are promiscuous, there are a lot of boys who are going to think, hey, well, if she's like that and you hanging out with her, well, that must mean you just like that. If she does these things, then you must be like that too. Show me who your friends are and you show me who you was, right? That's how the old saying goes. The other component of it too is you got to be very careful, because there's some of these girls out here, they know that they're promiscuous. They know that their reputation has been tarnished. And the old saying, misery loves company. Yeah, they will hang out with you and say, hey, would you come with me? Because they see, oh, you want to be down, right? You want to hang out with me. And everybody knows who I am and everybody knows what I do. And now this person, they done got to the point where they don't even care anymore. And that's always a dangerous person to be around. They say, I don't even care. So what? They could think whatever they want to think. They ain't my mama and all that kind of talk. And they say, yo, you should come with me. And I'm going over to this boy house knowing good and well that it's going to be other boys in that house who are thinking, well, if you like that with her, we about to do all of this type of stuff to her. Well, you here now. And this is how girls get molested and raped. And sometimes it's their own friends, own female friends who are taking them into places so bad things can happen to them. So just be very careful. Be careful about the company that you're keeping. And the last thing I want to just tell you is this. Remember why you go to school. Yeah, I know school is a social environment, right? You learn about different personalities, and that's important. But you have to go to school with a goal. Why are you going there from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock every day, 8 o'clock to 2:30 every day, 7:30 in the morning? You've been going there for this many years. Why? You have to go and remember the goal. Stop getting caught up in all of the drama of, oh, this boy likes me and he's my girlfriend, that's a girlfriend, that's my boyfriend. Listen, stay focused. Too many people running around here calling each other, that's my friend and that's my friend. These are not your friends. These are acquaintances that are coming and going. Friendship is something that builds over time. And we get caught up in the drama of the relationships and you talking to my friend and oh, well, this girl likes this boy and now you have a girlfriend and boyfriend and oh, he don't like me and he's talking about me and let's fight and all of that. Like you forgot what the purpose was. The purpose is coming to school to get an education. Yeah, this not supposed to be the end all or be all. Remember that. This is why you go to school, is to get that education. So that way, when this 12 years or them 12, years are up and you graduate, you can look back and be like, yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about other people. But I'm glad I didn't forget about the goal, the task at hand. And so, listen, this is just advice that I can't teach you in math, science, English, and social studies. And so I just want to let you know there are people out here who really care about you. And my name again is Hashim Garrett, HashimGarrett. You can find me at social media. Look out for my book, The Life and Stories of Hashim Garrett. You can find it on all platforms, The Life and Stories of Hashim Garrett. And so I just want to tell you all that you are loved. And I know you have to, you're juggling a lot, moms and dads and, guardians and grandparents and aunties and uncles. We all juggling a lot. But we have to make sure that we give ourselves some time to debrief. Can't be everything for everybody. Got to take some time out for yourself. Find your little comfortable, quiet place just for a few minutes. You are loved. There are people who care about you. This too shall pass. So you find you a good song that you like to listen to. Talk a little bit about what you're going through. As I mentioned, going through a divorce is difficult. But we'll talk about that on another episode. All right, today was just a message for our young people. And I told you I was going to tell you a story. Ooh. So I'm going to keep my podcast down to 20 minutes. Okay. I think that seems like an eternity, but hopefully while you're driving and you listening, you walking, you're just listening. Maybe the 20 minutes will go by fast. So yeah, I'll share a story with you really quickly. There was a young lady I was speaking to these group of students the other day here in New Jersey. And, so I'm talking and, asking the girls go around. We were talking about the topic of toxic masculinity. Why is it that boys act this way and girls act this way? And just having a conversation. And so as we're going around, one girl, I think she was 14 or 15. I want to say she was 15, ninth grade, I believe. And so she goes and she says, yeah, I have this boy and he broke up with me and we were boyfriend and girlfriend and we're no longer together. I said, okay, I'm listening, right? This is a classroom setting. This is a workshop. And so I said, okay. And, how does that make you feel? Yeah, I'm fine. We keep in touch and we talk. And he said, and how we got on this conversation, because we were talking about toxic masculinity. And so she said, well, what about toxic relationships? And I was like, okay, well, let's have a conversation. That's the beautiful part about my work, is that I'm not just like a talking head. I'm not just standing up there talking to them all the time for 40 minutes, just, information. We're just real dialogue, a rapport. And so she said, what about toxic relationships? So I said, what made you bring that up? So then back to the story. So she says, so I break up with this boy and, he's popular and he plays sports and he broke up with me, but now, we keep in touch all the time. So I was like, okay, well, I don't understand exactly where's the toxicity at. What's the toxic part? I said, yeah, but even when we were together, he would always do that. He'd break up with me and then he'd get back with me and he'd break up with me. And I go, oh, okay. I said, you don't mind me asking, were you guys intimate at some point? And he goes, yeah, we were, reluctantly, she says it. And I said, oh, okay. So I kind of switched the subject. And just out of curiosity, and I asked this for all my students. Who do you live with? And unfortunately, so many young people say, well, I live with mom. And I said, okay. Then I have to always follow it up. Where's dad? Oh, I don't need him. This is what the young lady says. I don't need him. He's always in and out of my life. And I was like, wow, it sounds like, the boy you were just with sounds like a lot like your dad in and out of your life. And I said, do you see the correlation between, your dad's being in and out of your life and this boyfriend of yours being in and out of your life? And she's looking, and her two friends that in the classroom, the other girls, they're looking at her and they're like giving her the nonverbal cues, like, yeah, there's a correlation. She's like, I'm not sure if I see it. And they're looking at her like, you need to shake your head because we see it. And yeah, that's real. Like that, you. And a lot of us have mommy and daddy issues that we need to kind of figure out. And, I was glad that she was transparent and open with me and said, yeah, I was intimate with him. And she regrets it now. And I'm glad that she could share with me and say, yeah, my dad is not in my life, and I hate him and I'm angry with him, but sometimes the things that we keep inside, the saying is, our secrets make us sick. Sometimes those things that we keep inside, we need to really let out. We can't keep sweeping everything under the rug, people. And so I just tell you this, that let it out. If you need a good scream, you need to, hopefully not screaming at anybody, but you need to write, you need to sing and to shout, you need to let that stuff out. Therapy, counseling, let it out. Talk to your friend. But I'm not going to hold you any longer. This is 21 minutes and counting, so we're going to wrap it up now. But I'll keep you posted on how that story went with the other young lady and some of her other friends in that classroom. But again, this is Hashim Garrett, HASHIM, GA, 2 R's, E, 2 T's. You are loved. You are special. There's nobody in the world like you. Whatever is rare and unique has enormous value, and it is the same with you. I thank you so much for tuning into my podcast. Sometimes I'm even going to bring some guests in. So hopefully that should be really cool. All right. We'll close like we began with a little tune. And you are blessed. You are loved. Have a great day. Put a smile on your face. Okay. Put a smile on your face and do something kind for somebody so it'll come back to you. I love you. Stay blessed. Stay stress free. We're going to make it together. One love.